Okay, so we are going to learn Potaliya Sutta. I heard thus at one time the Blessed One lived in Amuttarapa in a hamlet named Apana in the bazaar. Then the Blessed One put on robes in the morning and taking golden robe enter Apana for alms. After returning from the alms round and after the meal was over, the Blessed One entered a forest stretch and sat on the root of a tree to spend the day. The householder, Potaliya too, completely dressed with an umbrella, walking and wandering for exercise, entered the forest stretch and approached the Blessed One, exchanged friendly greetings, and stood on a side. Then the Blessed One addressed the householder, there are seats, if you wish, sit. When this was said, the householder Potaliya thought the recluse Gautama addressed me as a householder, was angry and averse, and would not talk. For the second time, the Blessed One said, householder, there are seats, if you wish, sit. So again he got angry. Third time, and then he got angry, and then he said, the Buddha, it is not suitable that the recluse Gautama should address me as a householder. And Buddha said, by your signs and attributes, you are a householder. Good Gautama, I have come to the end of all my actions and business. Whatever I had as wealth, grains, gold and silver, is given to my sons, and I do not advise or blame them. I care only for my food and clothing. Thus I have come to the end of all my actions and business. Then Buddha said, householder, your ending of all actions and business is different from the ending of all actions and business in the Noble One's dispensation. Venerable Sir, it is good if the Blessed One teaches me the ending of all actions and business in the Noble One's dispensation. Then householder, listen carefully. I will preach. Householder, there are 8 ways to end all actions and business in the Noble One's dispensation. What are the 8? Householder, for the purpose of not destroying life, destruction done to life should be given now. Purpose. There must be a purpose of doing that one. You see, when I was reading this one, it got stuck me in my mind. I was thinking, Buddha says this, we should be giving up this taking life for some sort of purpose. Not because the priest in the temple telling you, give up this killing. Again, he says, for the purpose of taking what is given, taking the not given should be given now. There is a purpose over there as well. So later on you can see that this discourse, Buddha himself says that the purpose is that to go eightfold path. You can't go through the eightfold path if you are doing this killing, stealing. So you see that I had a habit of offering Buddha flowers and the water and sort of a drink at night time. Then I normally make a cup of tea for myself as I offer the Buddha, and then I'll drink the tea and then I will meditate. So one day when I was offering the Buddha, that Sampati Mahaprabhu was there, and he said that you are part of this stealing. And then I sat down on the seat that I meditate on. I was wondering, how did I steal? So I recalled the whole day I have not been stealing anything. And then the day before, and then the whole week I have not stolen anything. And then I asked, how do I steal? Then he said that you have this tea, so you drink it. So then I took a couple of sips, and then again I was asking, he said, drink the whole thing. And then after drinking it, he was asking, did you buy this one or did someone give it to you? I said, I bought it because you need to buy tea leaves to make this one. He said that if you are buying, then there is stealing in it. I will explain this one to you using an example. You see, let's say you are working for the government. Wherever you are, if you are working somewhere else, it is the same. So let us say you are working for the government. How does the government get money to pay your salary? They impose a sort of a rule. No one here is telling, please sir, please the king take my money, or the prime minister please take my money. No one is actually saying. So they impose the rule, and if you don't pay, they will put you in jail. So because of that one, people give the money. So then what the government is doing, taking what is not given. And if you are part of that one, then that means you are stealing as well. So some people sort of justify, don't I do my work and get the money? What you are actually saying is that you don't have this debt for the work that you are doing. Some people has got that particular problem as well, because they are not doing the job, taking the money. So here you can see, if you are taking the money, that means you are part of the stealing. So who has got this one? We are part of the stealing thing. And who hasn't got this one? It's only the monk who is going in the alms round, not using money. If he touches money, then he is stealing as well. So only such a monk is included in that not stealing category. So at that particular time, I was thinking, I know that I can calculate this sort of thing. There are ways to calculate. Even if you take 10 skill states, and if you divide what you don't have, then you can get the percentage. So I found that I have about 70% of this virtue thing. And then the massive concentration arose in me, because that I admitted the truth, rather than saying while stealing I am not stealing. I admitted it. So the massive concentration arose. And again, if I ask you whether you kill, then you normally say, we don't kill. But if I ask you whether do you plant any plants, you say yes, we have these flower pots and so on, then we are planting and so on. So if you are planting, then you are actually killing. So most of the time people are saying, well, isn't that I don't have any volition, to kill. I just want to plant these things. Let's say America is telling you, we are putting bombs here and there. We don't want to kill you, but we just want the land. That's all. When you are getting the bomb, then you are actually shouting, isn't it? On the other hand, now what are we talking about when we are saying that there are 5 things must be accomplished to have this karma of the killing? What would the meant over here? What would the meant over there is that if someone is going in this sansara from birth to birth, to what extent you must have done the karma to have the effect of that one, the result of that karma, or that maturity, how much you have to do. What are we talking about here today? Here today we are talking about going through the Eightfold Path. By going through the Eightfold Path, what you achieve is the noble attainment, the stream enter, once return, never return, and so on. Sotapanna, Saudagama. So in that particular result of attainment, there is no karma. So don't mix up the 2 subjects, the karma subject and the karma-less subject. We are talking about karma-less subject, no karma here. So for you to achieve that one, then one has to give up. It doesn't matter that you justify my existence. For my existence, I got to have the stealing and so on. Here we are talking about the ending of that existence. So 2 different things. Again, you can see these 2 things, the killing and stealing. We have marked in this particular diagram. Remember, we learned this one as a vehicle. Now that vehicle has got 2 more wheels, 2 more back wheels, the killing and stealing. And the third one, this is for the purpose of taking the talking the truth, telling lies should be given up. So the lying part is now written over here. For the purpose of not slandering, slandering should be given up. So the slander is marked as the fourth one. And then it says, for the purpose of not coveting and non-greed, coveting and greed should be given up. So we have marked coveting and greed over here. For the purpose of maintaining blameless non-aversion, blameful aversion should be given up. So that is insult with anger. So we have marked insult with anger here between feeling and the misapprehension. For the purpose of maintaining non-anger and non-malice, the anger and malice should be given up. So the anger and malice, that means associate with anger, we have marked over here. So that is companionship with anger. Some people are very angry all the time, isn't it? So that sort of anger we are talking about. And then it says, for the sake of non-conceit, conceit should be given up. The conceit has to be given up. Conceit has not been marked here. But we can say we have already marked the conceit. Why? You see, person killing, he has the conceit for that killing. Now, you know that these cowboy type persons, and they have guns and so on. They think if someone comes, I will shoot and I will live. I am not afraid of anyone. So they have this, using those type of boots and so on. So they got this some sort of a arrogance, conceit that I am a killer. So therefore, the killing person has got this conceit. Similarly, the stealing person has got the conceit because he is stealing. I saw in Sri Lanka in a village on a Sunday afternoon, 3 people were talking, and 2 of them took a long breath and said, tomorrow morning we have to go to work in Colombo area. So the other one, looking at these 2, he smiled. He smiled and he said, you go and bring it, then I will steal it in the afternoon. So now he got the conceit that this is how I am going to live. I am not going to take a long breath and, get into this trouble of going to Colombo and doing the work and so on. You just, they bring the money, I will steal it. So that because of the stealing, there is this conceit. Of course, we have quite a lot conceit because of stealing. I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, and I'm a professor and so on, that we are going from this car and getting down and so on. So quite a lot. What are we going to do? We are going to steal. So you got the conceit because of that. And similarly, the lying person has got the conceit because of the lying. I saw a couple in Sri Lanka. Both are telling the same lie. I don't know how they are doing it. Professional liars. If you ask the husband and a wife separately, they give the same answer. They don't have a house, they pretend they have a house. They don't have a car, they pretend they have a car. So whichever way you ask, you try to dig, you get the same answer. Somehow they actually go through that one. So they think that this is the way to live. So they got the conceit because of the lie. Similarly, all the other ones. You can see these 7 things, they become the conceit itself. And then Buddha said, these stated in short, conduce to the ending of all actions and business in the dispensation of the Noble Ones. Venerable Sir, may the Noble One explain out of compassion these 8 things that conduce to the ending of actions and business in the Noble One's dispensation. Householder, listen and attend carefully. I will tell you. It was said for the purpose of not destroying living things, destroying life should be given up. Why was it said? Householder, the noble disciple reflects, on account of whatever bonds I was the destroyer of living things, I have fallen to the method of destroying those bonds. If I destroy living things, myself will blame me. When the wise one know about it, they will blame me. After death, a decrease should be expected. These are the bonds and obstructions for the destruction of living things. Desires, trouble, and displeasure may arise to those destroying living things. They are not to those that abstain from destroying life. If it was said for the purpose of not destroying living things, destroying life should be given up. It was said on account of this. So read that paragraph carefully. It says, howsoever the noble disciple reflects, on account of whatever bonds I was destroyer of living things, I have fallen to the method of destroying those bonds. So here we are talking about a method, fallen to the method. What is this method? It's a patipada we are talking about. That is the eightfold path. Since I want to follow through the eightfold path, then I have to give up this killing. You see the noble eightfold path, we got the right view. From the right view, we get the right thought. In the right thought, we have the thought of non-ill will, thought of non-malevolence, that is thought of non-ill will. That means non-hate path. It is in the hate path that we have killing. So, if I want to follow through the eightfold path, then I must give up killing. Otherwise, I can't continue because it will become an obstruction to my path. And again it says, if I destroy living things, myself will blame me. When the wise ones knows about it, they will blame me. You see, the wise people are blaming the person who is actually killing. I can tell you when I was in Sri Lanka, when I was small, maybe 10 years old or so, I went to sort of a rural area. So I was nearby the gate of that house, and the little boy in that house, maybe 5 years old, was with me nearby that gate. And then I saw someone is actually going in that road, and all of a sudden, mom came out of the house running, picked up the boy, went back in. Then I looked at that man and then went inside and then asked that mom, why did you do that? And she said that was the butcher that was walking on that street at that time. So you see, these in the rural area those days, moms are not showing the butcher to their children because mom is very intelligent, isn't it? You see, when the father and the boy is actually walking, when he saw that engineer constructing a bridge, he thought, I will become an engineer. When he is going to the doctor, he thought, I will become a doctor. Now mom is afraid, if he sees this butcher, he will become a butcher. So the wise one blame. I have seen in a rural area again, one mother was actually pointing at someone that person is the butcher. Wherever he is gone, so people are labeling him. So the wise ones blame. And on the other hand, when that person is, inside his house and so on, I can tell you, this discourse tells later on that you can also recall your past births. So when I discussed this one in Panadura, Sri Lanka, that someone in that one of the participants recalled her past birth, and then she saw her father was a butcher at that particular birth, and she is sort of bringing a plate of meat to her father, and then that butcher was actually telling to the daughter that I can't eat this, you bring me some forage. I can't eat this one. Because when butcher looking at the meat, he remember how that cow or goat, when it was slaughtering, how it was crying and, making the noise, that he remember that one. So he does not feel like eating it. But when you look at the forage, then you can, there's no cow or slaughtering involved, so therefore you can. So those people at night time, when they trying to sleep, they get this nightmare If you are trying to kill an animal, the animal also reacting. So the bull is coming to hit you like that one. So you get that sort of thing. So that's why they take quite a lot of alcohol at night time and then sleep to get rid of this thing. So internally blaming, it lasts quite a long. The externally wise ones blame. And also it says after death the decrease should be expected. That means you are going to be born in hell, as I was born in hell. These are the bonds and the obstructions for the destruction of living things. Desires, trouble, and displeasure may arise to those destroying living things. They are not to those that abstain from destroying life. So here, Buddha is talking about bonds. If you know the mindfulness, the Satipatthana, the mindfulness, 4 foundations of mindfulness, and Buddha is talking about, one should know the I, should know the form, should know the bondage that arises between the two, because of these two. Now, nowhere in the discourses Buddha has mentioned what is that bondage. Here you find the answer. The bondages are these killing, stealing. These are the bondages. So, Sampati Mahabrahma said that whatever thing to the right side of this mental volition become the bondage. That killing, stealing, lying, slander. That does not mean the things that are on the left side, coveting, insult with anger, they associate with anger. These are not bondages. These are. Because this diagram is not a fixed one. You can shrink it. Like, the cloth putting the thing you can actually shrink like that. When you shrink, this coveting and greed is going inside this bodhidharma insistence, that is truth. So it is going to from the right side of the mental volition. If anything is right side of the mental volition, then it becomes a bondage. And if you destroy living things, where you would be born? You would be born in hell. So there will be that is the troubles, displeasure, because you were born in hell. But if you are not doing that one, you won't be born in hell, animal realm. So therefore, you don't get those troubles. The person who is killing, they go to animal hell, animal realm and so on. But by any chance, if that person to be born in, the human world, he will be born in the area where, the bombs are going on, the killing is there. Some people are saying, I want to have a good life, not killing and so on. But the people in our area, really nasty. They kill, they kill people and so on. So you will be born in such a area. So that's what it says. That if you do, then you get much trouble. So if it was said for the purpose of not destroying living things, destroying life should be given up. It was said on account of this. And then the next one, it says, it was said for the purpose of taking what is given, taking the not given should be given up. Why was it said so? How so do the noble disciple reflects? On account of certain bonds, I took what was not given. I have fallen to the method of destroying those bonds. If I take the not given, myself will blame me. When the wise ones know about it, they will blame me. After death, a decrease should be expected. These are the bonds and obstructions for taking the not given. Desires, trouble, and displeasure may arise to those taking the not given. They are not for those that abstain from taking what is not given. If it was said for the purpose of taking what is given, taking the not given should be given up. It was said on account of this. So we are talking about this stealing here. That again, Buddha said that that I have taken this path of not taking what is not given. So we can see that means the eightfold path. So the eightfold path, we have the right way. From the right view, we get the right thought. The right thought has the thought of renunciation. thought of renunciation, and it is the non-greed path. It is in the greed path that we do have stealing. Since I am following the non-greed path, and then I have to give up stealing. And have you seen robbers? I have seen in a village area. One day, the police chief just brake because a dog is crossing the road, and this person in that particular house, from the back door, he went through that door, throwing out the whatever obstructions in for him to get out of that one, when completely went to the forest. So they are living with fear. Buddha said that those days, the kings, when they capture a sort of a bandit, then they take him in front of the crowd, the junctions, and then they kill in front of the others. So the others are actually watching that one. Another robber is watching that one. He thinks that it will be the same for me. If they get hold of me, they will do that one. So when they are punishing the other one, this one is blaming. On the other hand, Buddha said that people have, when they have this misconduct like killing, stealing, when they are with the crowd, whenever two people are talking, this person is always thinking they are talking about me. Because there are things about him, so that he thinks that they are talking about me. So they are suffering. You see, the butcher could not eat the meat that he killed. Likewise, the stealing person can't enjoy what he has been stealing. For example, if you take some sort of a ornament, bangle or something, chain, you look at it and this is really beautiful. At the same time, the thought comes to him, and this is the happiness I took away from the other person, so he can't enjoy it. And when they are born, they are born in hell, animal realm, plane of departed, and so on. But by any chance, if they were to be born in human world, they will be born in places where the stealing occur. Sometimes, if you are so lucky and then you are born in a sort of area where they are stealing not occur, then the robbers are coming to his house, not to anybody else's house in that street. So they are subject to that sort of thing. So that's why we have to give up this stealing for us to go to Eightfold Path. And then it was said, for the purpose of telling the truth, telling lies should be given up. Why was it said so? Householder, the noble disciple, reflects on account of whatever bonds I was telling lies, I have fallen to the method of destroying those bonds. If I tell lies, myself will blame me. When the wise ones know about it, they will blame me. After death, a decrease should be expected. These are the bonds and obstructions for telling lies. Desires, trouble, and displeasure may arise to those telling lies. They are not for those that abstain from telling lies. If it was said for the purpose of telling the truth, telling lies should be given up. It was said on account of this. So you can see this. We are going through the Eightfold Path, the right view to right thought. So we are going through the thought of renunciation. That means non-greed path. It is in the greed path that we do have the lie. So since I am following through the non-greed path, we should be giving up lying. It was said for the purpose of not slandering. Slandering should be given up. Why was it said so? Householder, the noble disciple, reflects on account of whatever bonds I was slandering. I have fallen to the method of destroying those bonds. If I slander, myself will blame me. When the wise ones know about it, they will blame me. After death, a decrease should be expected. These are the bonds and obstructions for slandering. Desires, trouble, and displeasure may arise to those slandering. They are not to those that abstain from slandering. If it was said for the purpose of not slandering, it should be given up. It was said on account of this. So again, you can see we are going through the eightfold path. From the right view, we come to the right thought. So we are going through this. In the right thought, we have non-malevolence, non-hate path. It is in the hate path that we have slander. So since I am following the non-hate path, I should be giving up slander. So this slander, that you are actually normally thinking about this verbal formations, that having known something, then you go somewhere to split others, that sort of meaning is there. But you don't have to verbalize here. This is not meant entirely the verbalization. I can tell you a story. One of the previous Buddha's time, that there was a divine being, and there were two monks, and they are very, very friendly, those two monks. And this divine being, having seen this one, he wants to separate them. The thoughts that come to divine beings as well, isn't it? To separate these people. And then when one monk went to fetch water, this divine being took a form of a woman and entered the other monk's, the room. And the other monk was actually looking at, when I go to fetch water, this person is actually now living with a woman. Now this monk now is not talking to the other monk. So now after a long time that these two monks died, and as well as the divine being died, at that divine being, in the Buddha's time, Gautama Buddha's time, that he has become an arahant. So at night time, people see a woman is entering this person's room, this arahant's room, and then they go and look, and no one is there. So the karma, how the karma is playing its part. And did that divine being that utter any speech to separate? No, he just have some sort of a way to do that one. So you need to think this slandering like a separation. Remember, we are talking about disparaging, palasa. You separate your friend from your friend. So that is mental, and this is verbal. But don't take it just for the sake of its verbalization. It's a separation. And then it says, it was said for the purpose of non-greed and non-coveting. Greed and coveting should be given up. Why was it said? Householder, the noble disciple reflects, on account of whatever bonds I was greedy and coveting, I have fallen to the method of destroying those bonds. If I become greedy and covet myself, will blame me. When the wise one know about it, they will blame me. After death, the decree should be expected. These are the bonds and obstructions for greed and coveting. Desires, trouble, and displeasure may arise to those greedy and coveting. They are not for those that abstain from greed and coveting. It was said for the purpose of non-greed and not coveting. Greed and coveting should be given up. It was said on account of this. So you can see the coveting and greed mark over here, and that one is in the path of greed. So since I am following the eightfold path from the right view to right thought, so thought of renunciation, that is non-greed path. So the coveting and greed, then obstruction for me, so I have to give up. It was said for the purpose of maintaining blameless non-aversion. Blameful aversion should be given up. Why was it said so? Householder, the noble disciple reflects, on account of whatever bonds I was maintaining blameful aversion, I was fallen to the method of destroying those bonds. If I maintain blameful aversion, myself will blame me. When the wise ones know about it, they will blame me. After death, the decree should be expected. These are the bonds and obstructions for blameful aversion. Desires, trouble, and displeasure may arise to those maintaining blameful aversion. They are not for those that abstain from blameful aversion. If it was said for the purpose of maintaining blameless non-aversion, blameful aversion should be given up. It was said on account of this. So That is, we are talking about the insult with anger. And I mentioned in all the other 5, which path it is in, whether it's a greed path, the hate path, or the delusion path. This insult with anger is in all 3 paths: greed, hate, and delusion. So we need to get rid of that one to follow through the Eightfold Path. It was said, for the purpose of maintaining non-anger and non-malice, the anger and malice should be given up. Why was it said so? Householder, the noble disciple, reflects, on account of whatever bonds I was maintaining anger and malice, I have fallen to the method of destroying those bonds. If I maintain anger and malice, myself will blame me. When the wise ones know about it, they will blame me. After death, a decrease should be expected. These are the bonds and the obstructions for anger and malice. Desires, trouble, and displeasure may arise to those maintaining anger and malice. They are not for those that abstain from anger and malice. If it was said, for the purpose of maintaining non-anger and non-malice, anger and malice should be given up, it was said on account of this. So you can see this anger and malice, the number 7 over here, is in the hate path. Because I am following the non-hate path, I have come from right view to right thought, following the non-hate path. So I have to give up things that are in the hate path. And then Buddha said, it was said, for the purpose of non-conceit, conceit should be given up. Why was it said so? Householder, the noble disciple, reflects, on account of whatever bonds I was conceited, I have fallen to the method of destroying those bonds. If I be conceited, myself will blame me. When the wise ones know about it, they will blame me. After death, a decrease should be expected. These are the bonds and obstructions for conceit. Desires, trouble, and displeasure may arise to those conceited. They are not for those without conceit. If it was said, for the purpose of non-conceit, conceit should be given up, it was said on account of this. You see, in Pattanapali 3 in Abhidhamma, it says this: because of the conceit, we get ignorance. And because of the conceit, we get this existence. So because of the existence, you get ignorance. So they are linked to each other. So if the conceit give rise to ignorance, you can see in the consciousness as near to one side. So we get this bond of ignorance over here. So then we are going from the conceit, we are going to the bond of ignorance, and then you are come to the barb of lust, and then you are spinning. So the conceit itself is a sort of a dart, a barb, and so it is in the ignorance path. On the other hand, because of the conceit, if I am getting the existence, which is in the second path, so therefore that I go through the hate path as well. So it is in the both paths. Householder, these are the 8 things stated in short and explained for the ending of business and actions in the dispensation of the noble ones. Yet with this much only, actions and business will not come to the end in the noble one's dispensation. What is the thing that Buddha is talking about here? What Buddha talking about here is this is a vehicle. So this vehicle is always running. Buddha said, when you use these 8 things, then this vehicle stops. But still, it has not come to the complete stopping. The wheels are not rotating because we are removing, killing, stealing, lying. Those things are removed. Therefore, they are not rotating. But next to the traffic light, when it is red light, your wheels are not rotating, but your engine is still running. So then Potaliya was asking, Venerable Sir, how does the complete ending of actions and business come about in the dispensation of the noble ones? Sir, it would be for my good if the Blessed One explained the complete ending of actions and business in the noble one's dispensation. Listen carefully, householder, I will tell. Householder, a clever butcher, or his apprentice would throw a fleshless, blood-stained bone devoid of any flesh, to a hungry dog waiting near a slaughterhouse. Householder, would that dog licking that blood-stained fleshless bone get away his hunger? No, Venerable Sir, it wouldn't. What is the reason? That dog licking that blood-stained fleshless bone would gain fatigue and weariness only. In the same manner, the noble disciple reflects. The Blessed One has said these sensual desires are comparable to a bone. It brings much unpleasantness, much trouble. The danger here is much. They should be seen with equanimity and right wisdom as it really is, and the various interests should be turned out. A single interest and attachment should be developed with equanimity, in which all worldly material interests fade completely and equanimity should be developed further. So, what Buddha is saying, nearby a slaughterhouse, a dog is there, and what the butcher is doing, he take a bone and take the flesh out of that one and then throw the bone to the dog. Dog is not thinking twice. It is running and picking up that one. And then he is trying to eat that one. But there is no flesh. So the hunger will remain as it is. But when it is biting, its gum get damaged and then it's bleeding. Its own blood is actually going over there. So Buddha was comparing that sensual desires are comparable to a bone, fleshless bone, nothing in it. So this is your starting point of the meditation. You are using these examples for the meditation. So your meditation start with this one. Here you think that you are the butcher. This is the example Buddha gave for the killing. So in this time you put a bone, fleshless bone, in as the physical nutriment. And I am the butcher. I am the one who killed. And you spin. When you put something as a physical nutriment, then we have the barb of lust. So you are spinning with the barb of lust. And where you will be born. You will be born, your birth will be hell, animal realm, plane of departed. And then you are questioning yourself, is it befitting for me to go to hell just because of this fleshless bone? No satisfaction. And wouldn't it be better for me to give up killing rather than going to hell? So you consider killing whatever thing you have done before is a fast thing. At this particular moment, no killing. So consider it as a past action and give up the desire for that one. You can be smart here because even a farmer can meditate. He comes over here and by the time of meditating he is not a farmer. He is not killing. Whatever thing he has done is before. So whatever the desire and attachment for the fast thing, you give up, fast volitional formations. And the next moment, that farmer might die. He is not going to go and do this killing. Some people think, isn't that cheating sort of scenario? But Buddha taught us that method. Buddha said, on the full moon day, practice virtue. So the rest of the day you might be doing bad thing. But one day you come and then you practice virtue on that day. So then that day he sort of see, well, this one is really great compared to what I was doing. So he might go for renunciation as well. Likewise, live the moment, this moment. Tomorrow, whether you are going to live, you do not know. You might die right over here. So be smart at that particular moment and give up desire and attachment. And Buddha said that there are 3 types of equanimity mentioned in this document, in that para. That one Buddha said in a short way. The actual discussion about this one is, you have to find it in the Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta. In the Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta, Buddha said that there are these 3 types of householders, the joy, and the first Buddha was talking about householders' joy, and then he went to the other parts. The householder's joy is that when Let us say you buy something from the stock market, now the price has increased, and so there is a joy. That means you got some sort of a gain because of your job or whatever thing, you got a gain, and therefore there is a joy. And this same person, when he is meditating, and these things are, impermanent and so on, then he get the renunciation joy. For example, if I close my eyes, I can feel my eyelid and the eyeball, and then it comes to this forehead, and then it is spreading to the whole face. That's pleasure. For me to have this one, I don't have to wait like a stock market 7 months or so. I just close my eyes. So that this one is better than the householder's joy. So that this is because of development of the faculties, that if you know impermanence, suffering and so on, then you get that one. And then the householder has got the distress. Householder's distress is that because the stock market is fallen, his chair is broken, maybe he is trying to go to work, that the tire got a puncture or something like that one. So there is this distress for that one. There is distress for the renunciation as well. Here a monk is thinking, those arahants today are abiding in a really good abiding without lust, greed and hate. When am I going to go there? In other words, when can I become enlightened? So normally when there is a distress, people think that it is a bad thing, and then it has got this unskilled states, ahusal. But Pitakopadesa says, even the renown, if there is something for Nibbana, towards Nibbana, then it is not unskilled, it is skilled. Usa. So even the renunciation, distress, it's a skilled thing. So it's a good thing. And then household has got a equanimity. Remember we were looking at onlooking equanimity yesterday morning. So it's just like you are sitting down on a chair, neither comfortable nor uncomfortable. It is not exceeding the chair. That sort of equanimity. The renunciation also got an equanimity. Then it's a great one. How this morning you were looking at this first jhana concentration. They part aloof from the sensual pleasures with the initial application and sustained application. You went to the first jhana concentration with the rapture and the pleasure was there. So that is this going through the 32 parts. So he is happy about the rapture, but he sees a sort of a problem. Problem is that it is a bit costly for him because he has to pay the price of looking at, reading, going through this hair of the body, nails, teeth, skin, flesh and so on, 32 parts. So then he takes those things to his mind. Whenever the hair is mentioned, then you can see it's in the same boat as in the urine excrement and that one, so he can quickly get rid of that one. So that he got the mindfulness. Therefore, he does not have to do this initial application, sustained application. So it will fade away in that way. And then he is reaching the second jhana concentration. Now he has got the rapture and pleasure. No initial application, sustained application about the form. Now he sees sort of a problem there as well. What's the problem? The rapture you feel from your head, it is flowing through the whole body, and sometimes you can feel it from your leg as well. And if you feel something physically, then there is this tendency you will get attached to it. So having seen this danger, he would like not to have the rapture, but he is happy to have the pleasure. That is, after the rapture with pleasure, he is happy about the pleasure. So then he is going to that fading away rapture. He is reaching this third jhana concentration, and there is this pleasure. This is the pleasure I was talking about. When I close my eyes, I can feel it's my whole face with the eyes and the eyelids and so on. If I am to explain it to you, that if you go into the sea, the when you are there, when the light breeze is coming up and you close your eyelid, then the wind is sort of hitting this eyelid and then you get the pleasure. And similarly here it is not outside, it is inside as well. So there is this immense pressure, and this pressure will increase. More you understand the dependent origination, to that extent this one will increase. So this is the most pleasurable thing. And then, but now there is a problem. The problem is, you are saying it is pleasurable. What did Buddha say? Buddha said it's suffering. While Buddha is saying suffering, we are saying pleasure. So now he understands what I am saying here is that this is a temporary pleasure. What is there in the world is suffering. And because of the development of the faculties, there is pleasure. So this one is temporary. So this one will pass away, and the actuality, that is the suffering, will come to arise. It is like that you are looking at someone who is just about to die. So then the pleasure, you go away from the pleasure. So the pleasure and the pain both cease, and then you go to the fourth jhana concentration without those two. So when did you get rid of the pain? You see, when you are sitting down on that chair, if it is painful, you can see that you feel like going out here. But if the rapture is there in your head, then you don't have any attention to that pain, that backside. So the rapture took away your pain. So you got rid of the pain. From third jhana to the fourth jhana, you get rid of pleasure. So that is what is said in Sukhasya cha pahana, Dukkasya cha pahana in Pali. Both you got rid of. Now whatever that thing that you had in the past about this pleasure, if you sort of delight in pleasure, what will happen? You will be born in that world, the human world or the Brahma world, you will be delighting. So whatever thing, those past things, you can see that what we have is only the passing away phenomena. That's what we have to apply to those things. So getting rid of those, the former pleasures and the pain, and as well as the current ones, then you abide in the fourth jhana concentration. And the fourth jhana concentration is stable. It is stable because the opposite of pleasure is pain. Opposite of pain is pleasure. If you have get rid of pleasure and pain both, then there is no place for you to be falling, because you are stable. So that is the equanimity we are talking about. Now Buddha used really good technique here. You see, Buddha took, the householder side. We have three: the householder's pleasure, and the distress, and the equanimity. The renunciation, the pleasure, renunciation, distress, renunciation, equanimity. So Buddha said, take the householder's pleasure, joy, and there is renunciation, joy. Buddha said, because of this, because of the renunciation, joy is good, get rid of the householder's joy. Buddha gave us a good toy. We were playing with somebody else's toy. Buddha gave, play from your own toy. It is like, let us say, in this house, there is a sort of a boy, playing with toys and so on. The mothers have got let's say in the street also, there is another mother and a child there, and in the playful era. So then mothers normally cook and then take the boy or girl and then go, for a walk. So the boy normally take his toy with him. So the other house, end of the street, that boy is now started playing from this person's toy. And then these mothers, they are talk over, then they want to come back, and that boy is not giving up this toy, belong to this house boy's toy. So what the mother would do? Mother say, son, come, there's a nice food over here. So then the son will drop the toy, go there and eat. That is this in the old era, isn't it? Those days children are behaving like that one. These days they go with the toy and eat. So then the mother would actually give him a better toy so that he will drop the other one. So likewise we were playing from somebody else's toy. The stock market is somebody else's toy. That you are getting the gain out of that one and becoming happy because it is up. But the renunciation joy is better. Because for me to have the pleasure, I don't have to wait in the stock market. I don't know whether it's going to rise or fall. I don't have to wait that one. I just close my eyes. This is internal. So Buddha is asking you to use your internal one. Get rid of that one. The renunciation joy is much better than compared to the other one. And the renunciation, we have this distress. Your chair is broken or whatever. The stock market fallen. And there is, the householders displeasure. And there is this renunciation, displeasure. You are thinking, when I am going to become an arahant, that one is a better one, isn't it? Rather than I am thinking, when my chair broken, the other person is actually worrying about how can I become an arahant. So that is noble. So because of the renunciation, distress, get rid of the householders' distress. And there is this renunciation, householders' equanimity, which is not exceeding the chair. And there is this renunciation equanimity, which is exceeding that chair and any other chairs as well. The fourth jhana concentration. So because of this, get rid of that. So the householder side is now gone. And the renunciation side remains. Now Buddha gave a ordering for this song. Rather than worrying about when I am becoming an arahant, Buddha said, use the renunciation joy. Become happy. Because you see, the attainment of Nibbana would occur only through the happiness. Not from the suffering. But the happiness you get, the tricky part is the happiness you get by contemplating the suffering. So that's the tricky part. But only from the happiness you can attain Nibbana. So because of that, Buddha is saying use the renunciation joy and get rid of the renunciation distress. And then Buddha said this one is not stable because this is third jhana pleasure. So when you are falling from that one, then you have the suffering. The renunciation equanimity is stable because you got rid of the pleasure and joy both. So you now end up with only one point, that is the fourth jhana. The fourth jhana equanimity, it is 6 kinds because you see from the eye you see the forms. So there is equanimity regarding what you see, ear and the sound. So there is equanimity regarding that sound. So eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind. It's like you are maintaining 6 houses. Buddha said, there is this, the space is infinite. So there is only one perception. So you go into that jhana concentration. Akasanyayatana, space is infinite. So it's like that you are not maintaining 6 houses, now maintaining 1 house. And then Buddha did not stop over there. Buddha said, there is this renunciation, there is this consciousness is infinite, which is better than the space is infinite. So because of that, you give up, that space is infinite. And from there, Buddha took you to the plane of nothing, neither perception nor non-perception. And then Buddha take you to the Nirodha, the cessation of feeling and perception. Having gone that far, Buddha said, all these things constructed. Buddha used the word atamyata. Atamyata means not made of thatness. Everything else is made of something. Only the Nibbana is not made of anything. So there is nothing in it. So because of that one, that is the greatest. So you give up all the other things. So you see, from one point, Buddha take you to Nibbana. So this one was mentioned with this killing example. So in other words, there must be some sort of a relationship between not killing and the description that we were talking about going to Nibbana. So that is where the Mindfulness of breathing comes in. Anapanasati. You see, when you are killing someone, when you think to kill, then you have to take a long breath. Without it, you can't take that. You cannot think. So when you are lifting up a knife, again, you are taking a long breath. If you are stabbing someone, then you are taking a long breath. If you are not killing, then you do not have to breathe in to think that I am going to kill. You do not have to breathe in to lift up a knife. You don't have to breathe in to stab. So in other words, the cessation of inhaling and exhaling. That is the fourth jhana. With the fourth jhana, then you go into the space is infinite, consciousness is infinite, and along the way you go to the Nibbana. You are not going to stop at any point. So this, what is mentioned over here, three types of equanimity. The first one is diverse equanimity, where the eye and the form, sound and the ear and so on. So 6 kinds. And then from that one pointness, that is the space is infinite or consciousness is infinite. That is only one house. And then you are going beyond that one to the Nibbana. So that is what Buddha mentioned over here. So you see, from one thing, Buddha took you to the Nibbana. From first example. Remember yesterday we were talking about, if you are killing, you are stealing as well. You are giving up killing means you are giving up stealing as well. So all the others are linked to that one. Remember that chicken you are killing example, you are taking its what is not given as well as the lifespan and so on. But if you are not doing that one, you can go. And then Buddha said that in the second example, householder, a vulture, a crow or hawk would snatch a piece of flesh and would fly away with it. Another crow, hawk or vulture, seeing it, would pursue it, follow it, snatch the piece of flesh. Householder, if that vulture, crow or hawk does not give up that piece of flesh, wouldn't he come to death or deathly unpleasantness? He would, Venerable Sir. In the same manner, the noble disciple reflects. The Blessed One said that sensual desires are comparable to a piece of flesh that brings much unpleasantness, trouble and danger. This should be seen with equanimity and right wisdom as it really is, and the various interests should be turned out. A single interest and attachment should be developed with equanimity, in which all worldly material interest fade completely and equanimity develop further. So this example Buddha gave for stealing. Let us say some sort of a vulture, or let's say a hawk, take a piece of meat, snatch it. And then other hawks are coming to hit this one and take that piece of meat. Why it is stealing? Because you can see, if there is a hawk in your house in a cage, if you give some sort of fresh meat to that one, would anybody else come to hit, or anybody else actually trying to bite? No. Because this creature took it from somewhere. It took it what is not given. So that is the example for the stealing. So if that creature is not going to give up that piece of meat, then you can see that the deathly unpleasantness will occur. I mean, it is the case. If you take anything apart from the Nibbana, then you can see your consciousness gets established. If the consciousness gets established, then the name and form, and then you can see the existence and the birth come to be. So your death, you are making your death to occur by doing that one. So how do we meditate over here? This is the second meditation we are coming in this one. It's a sequence of meditations here. So the next one is that you are thinking that you are the person that steals. So you put piece of meat over here as the physical neutron. And there is this barb of lust. Then you are spinning with that one. Then where you will be born? You will be born in hell, animal realm, plane of departed, and so on. So now you think, is it befitting for me to go to hell because of just a piece of meat? Wouldn't it be better for me to give up that desire and attachment for the stealing? Let me give up that desire and attachment. So here you can see you don't have any satisfaction. In the butcher's case also, even the dog could bite it because he did not steal it, but the butcher could not eat it. Likewise, there's no satisfaction, but you still do the stealing. So, and you are going to hell. So again, Buddha said that you go for that single equanimity and then go to the Nibbana. So how does that one relate? On a Sunday afternoon, normally for a working person, get a long breath without noticing him. He is taking a long breath. Why? Because he is actually going to work tomorrow. Monday morning has to go to work. So going to work is stealing. So you are taking the breath for stealing. If you are not going to do that one, the cessation of inhaling and exhaling, and then you go to the fourth jhana. From the fourth jhana concentration, as we discussed in the Visuddhimagga Sutta, you are going for the Nibbana. So that is the meditation at that particular time. Again, do you have a job? Do you have a job now? We always think that there is a job for me. That's how it is. But on the other end, they might have written, you are fired. You simply do not know. Sometimes when the letter comes, you know. Normally we think, yes, it is there. Let us say even your boss is here and saying, no, you are not fired yet. But still, although he is saying, would I live to go to work tomorrow? I might die in this instance. In that case, I am not going to go stealing. So live this moment. Consider whatever jobs that you have done in the past, it is past. At this particular moment, I am not stealing. So giving up the stealing, the desire and attachment, I do not know whether I am going to live in the next moment. So consider it as a past action and give up the desire and attachment to that one. So that is how we are going to meditate over here. And it is worth mentioning that these are actually related to rounds. The killing one we were talking about, and what is actually happening at that particular time is that, that the dog, as soon as you put the ball, it was running to pick it up. It was even didn't use its nose to, just to check whether there is any flesh left on it. What is happening is at that particular moment, something, it is beauty or the fair is coming from this misapprehension to bodhidaya of insistence. It is entering that way. As soon, when you meditate and then when you go to work and then you see someone in front of you, say this person is beautiful. Why are we saying that? Although we meditate these 32 parts, dead bodies and so on. Because we are spinning. Our engine is running. We are driving the vehicle. It's like, you see, when you are driving a vehicle, you see some sort of a tree. You are saying, this tree is beautiful. Now you stop the vehicle and get down and go and see the tree. Then you can see the scraps, from the birds and so on around the tree, and the leaves got damaged and so on. Now you are not saying that this tree is beautiful, because when you are going with the speed, when you are running, when you are walking, then you don't see it. You need to stop the engine and see it. Likewise, that's what it is. The first, because we are killing, the engine is running, we are moving fast, we do not see. So we grab any crap, we say that one is beautiful. That is what is happening to us. This is the first round that we are talking about killing. The stealing is the second round. In the second round, it gives you some sort of a permanency. Because of your job, you can eat, isn't it? Therefore you live. So therefore you get the permanency. So the stealing gives the permanency. So what is happening is that the beauty or the fairness enter the body type of insistence. Now it is, now to that one you add from the stealing you add the permanency. So when you add to the beauty you add the permanency, what happened? Remember in the Halidakani Sutta, it become pleasure. Remember the cutlet example. Cutlet is there, cutlet is there. The permanency is added, then you get the pleasure. And that is what Buddha talking about next one. Householder, a man with a blazing grass torch would go against the wind. Householder, if that man does not give up that blazing grass torch, wouldn't he burn his hand or arm or any other limb, small or large? Wouldn't he come to death or deathly unpleasantness? He would, venerable sir. In the same manner, the noble disciple reflects. The blessed ones had said that sensual desires are comparable to a blazing grass torch that brings much unpleasantness, trouble and danger. This should be seen with equanimity and right wisdom, and then Buddha is asking you to go to the Nibbana from that one. So here, the example Buddha gave is for this line. So what is this grass torch? Someone is actually carrying grass torch, and so the wind is coming in front, and then if you don't drop this one, because the fire is now coming to your body and you will be burned from that one. So what is the grass torch? What is this wind? The wind is the Four Noble Truth. So against the Four Noble Truth, we are taking a grass torch, this is mine, baby is mine, husband is mine, and so on, mine. And because of this, you were burned before, you are burning now. If you don't drop the grass torch, you will be burned in the future as well. To take this one, put it in an example, you see in Sri Lanka, there was a war. And that particular time, there were bombs here and there. So let us say you are there and your son is in Colombo area and you are working somewhere, your wife is working somewhere, or husband is working somewhere. When they hear a bomb blasted in Colombo area, then mom is calling the teacher and then asks, is my son living or my daughter living? So the husband called wife or wife called husband and then ask, are you still living? You see, there are bombs going in Afghanistan. When it is happening, are you actually burning? No. Because their people are dying. The same thing happened, but you don't. And even in Sri Lanka, let us say your son is in Colombo, but the bomb is going on in Kandy. Would you be burned? You won't. So what is the problem here? You take, my son. By taking my son, husband is mine, the baby is mine, the leg is mine, house is mine. Because of that one, we are being burnt. So that here we are talking about the line. What is this line in this particular case? Taking it as mine is a one line. On the other hand, remember the mango example. You cut down the mango and then you are saying it's pleasurable. What Buddha said, it is suffering. So against the noble truth, while Buddha is saying suffering, you are saying pleasure. So again, that one is a lie. So for what we need to do at this particular time, we were talking about the grass torch. So you put a grass torch over here for the meditation as the physical nutriment. Then spin with the barb of lust. And after death, you will be born in hell, animal realm, or somewhere like that one. And then you are asking, is it befitting for me to go to hell because of this grass torch? Let me give up my desire and attachment for lying. So the first, the second, and the third, the killing, stealing, lying, you consider those things as the past actions, past things. In the past, you regard your husband as mine, wife as mine, the children as mine, and not in this particular moment. Consider them as past ones. And what is the grass torch for? I mean, you can, bite the bone, you can eat the flesh, but you can't eat the grass torch. What's the grass torch for? To find the bone and the flesh. At night time you put your light in your car and go for this going to the supermarket to find the meat and the bone. So what we need to give up is the desire for an attachment for life. And for that one, there was a really good meditation, isn't it? What was it? The last one we did yesterday. Because remember, when we were talking about contemplation of impermanence in all formations, we use this diagram. So here we were saying the determination for truth, the experiment outside is not mine. Experiment inside is not mine. So you cleanse your mind from all the material things, hard things, as well as the soft things, as well as the liquid things, element of cohesion, element of motion, and element of heat. So you got rid of all those elements. So therefore, you are not lying because they are not mine. Husband is not mine, leg is not mine. Now you are not saying that one. So use that part of the meditation. So this one is really good because Buddha was talking about going to the one point concentration. The space is infinite. Well, there you are. Because when you disregard all the elements as not being yours, then that means you are got out of this form. So now you are in the formless sphere. Space is infinite. Or maybe beyond that one. Now then you understand this one is also not mine. If I am holding to this one, I will be born there. So then you get the determination for truth. So now you are actually giving up those attachment for the space is infinite and so on. Then you are going to with the exhaustion of lust, hate, delusion, attain complete extinction. So you are going to the Nibbana. So that one is very good for that equanimity part, as well as getting rid of the life. So in the third one, what you need to do this meditation. Repeat it starting from the determination for the wisdom. Do the Dhatu Manasakar, that is these elements, and get rid of those things. So that is this meditation at that time. And then the next one Buddha is talking about, this is the third round we were talking about. Just in the third round you get the pleasure. Remember that we were talking about beauty is coming from misapprehension to the body type of insistence that we mentioned while killing, and the stealing impose the permanency to that one because I can get the rotten mango because I am working, and when I eat the mango, pleasure. So that is the line part we were talking about. So this is the third round, and the fourth round we are talking about this slander. Householder, there is a pit of charcoal to the height of a man, free of smoke and flames. A man who likes pleasantness, wants to live, comes along, and two strong men take him by his hand and feet and drag him along to the pit of charcoal. Householder wouldn't his body writhe to get away from it? What is the reason? Venerable Sir, he knows. If I fall into this pit of charcoal, I will come to death or deathly unpleasantness. In the same manner, the noble disciple reflects, the Blessed One has said that sensual desires are comparable to a burning pit of charcoal that bring much unpleasantness, trouble and danger. This should be seen with equanimity and right wisdom as it really is, and the various interests should be turned out and should go for Nibbana. So this is Buddha mentioned for this slander over here. So you can see there were two people dragging, taking to the pit of charcoal. And there's no smoke, but inside it has got this heat. So this man want to live, and so he would try to get away from that pit of charcoal. So who are those two people, taking this one by arms? First, consider this disparaging thing. Remember Palaso, yesterday we discussed, the day before yesterday, we discussed this one, that I got a friend and my friend got another friend. I do not like him. But I could have given up both of them, but I didn't, because I want to keep my first friend. He's valuable for me because he's a chairman or a minister or someone. So that is my craving. Craving to be with him because I get something. So then remember, craving we marked over here, isn't it? Feeling to the craving over here. So that is the one person taking you to the pit of charcoal, taking from your one arm. And what is the other person? What do you want to do? You want to separate that the new friend you from your old friend, and then you need to maintain it. So that is your volition. I would live with my first friend. So both craving and volition are the one dragging you to this particular instance. You know how I saw this one? I saw like a man who was actually begging, bending his back and begging, please sir, let me have this pressure from this one. It's like that you save $10 going to the mango dealer and saying, please sir, let me have this pressure from this particular one. So in other words, the pressure is like this. If you consider this one as a boat, the body type of misapprehension as a boat, and then the pleasure is actually entering the body type of misapprehension. And your volitional formations are entering the misapprehension as permanent from this side. So you are begging the feeling, let me have this pleasure. What is this pleasure? These two are linked to the second one and the third one. The line we were talking about, you eating the mango, pleasurable. So that is the pleasure entering from here. And that is what you are begging. And to have the mango, you got to have the job, stealing. So that give you this permanency. So the volitional formation, so sanskara, what you do, your job. So it is entering as permanent over here to the misapprehension. So normally when you are rowing a boat, it is going in a forward direction, but the way now you row, this one, you are spinning on the spot, you are sinking. That is what is happening. That is what we do all the time. You know that this lander is the one you are actually doing all the time, with or without you noticing it. Sometimes you notice because you are verbalizing and saying it, but inside you always, do the separation. As I said when we were discussing this Visuddhimagga Sutta, then you disparage your husband, your wife, and your children as well. I mean, are you happy and satisfied with the job you are doing? Always you think, job of my boss, that one is the best one, because he's drinking a cup of tea and telling me do this, do that, and so on. You are thinking that job is the best one. And if you get it, you think that his boss got a job, that one is the best one. So it is never ending. And you are sort of not satisfied with whatever food you are eating. Whenever you start eating, you look at the curry and taste it. Oh, this is not nice. The one that my mom made on such and such a day, that one is the good one. That restaurant, no, that one is really good restaurant. That gave me a good one. So because of that thought that you have about whatever thing you had in the past, you are actually disparaging what you have. So this you need to think as a present thing that you do. 1, 2, and 3, past. The fourth one, present. This is what you do right now, every time. Because of that one, you are burning. You are burning with this bit of a charcoal. It is inside. One good example is, let us say you are working in office and a promotion is advertised, and maybe you are a busy mother. You have to do the job and look after the children, teach them, mathematics and so on, cooking and all those things. And you are decided, I'm not going to apply for any job over here. I just leave because I can't cope anymore. So some sort of promotion advertised, then you are still firm on that decision. I'm not going to do that. Then friend of yours come and hit you, say, look, I heard that the other person she is going to apply, and she's your enemy. You don't like that person. She's going to apply. She'll become your boss. What would you do? Now what do you think? I will apply. Now you decided, you change your mind, and then now you need to have a CV for this one. On the top of you are making your children sandwiches and all those things, going to work, plus looking after their homework and assignment and all those things. Now you think I have to make a CV. I don't have time to do that. Aren't you burdened at that time? Because of I have to do this one. So that is how, even if you decide, somebody will push you in the present moment to, do that one. So we know how to meditate over there. And then number 5, householder man in his dreams would see delightful monuments, forest, flatlands, and ponds. When he wakes, he would not see any of them. In the same manner, the noble disciple reflects. The Blessed One has said, sensual desires are comparable to a dream. It brings much unpleasantness, trouble and danger. This should be seen with equanimity and right wisdom as it really is, and the various interests should be turned out. So again, Buddha is asking you to go to the one-pointness concentration and to the Nibbana over there. So this example Buddha gave for this coveting and greed, the number 5. So it's like a dream. That's what Buddha compared to that. A person is, sleeping, and then he saw some sort of a dream, a good dream, where he is actually in like a palace, sleeping on a big, nice bed, and see the ponds and so on. Then he wakes up, he see that he is still in that rotten bed that he used to sleep. No ponds, nothing over there. So our life is like that. This is, we are talking about future. So you are dreaming, when you are not studying, your mother has shown you, a good lesson, If you don't learn, then you will end up like the person swimming in the street. So you learn. You thought that when I learn, everything is fine. So then you get a problem. You have to find a job. So you are going for job hunting. And then you found a job, and then you thought, there you go. I'm really happy. Didn't you then after that have your lunch box? You are not eating on a table. You take the lunch box now and going to this thing. At the end of the day, then end of the month, you pay all the bills, and then you see there's nothing left for you. And it was really good when you were eating from your monk. And then you earn more, and then you had another problem because of this, the robbers and so on, they are coming. And then you thought, my problem is I don't have a house. You made a house as well. Still the problem is not over. Then you got married, and you found a husband or wife, and those people already found, they know whether it is funny, isn't it? Earlier, the person who did not marry think, they must have really good life. The person who got married, they will think, what a crap, I should have been alone. So that's what it is. So all the illusions, because the other people are pouring onto you, that's the way to live. If someone is trying to live alone, the others are coming and say, no, you should get married, So maybe their parents, they are pushing. So what Buddha said is, if you are not going to become a monk, then you live alone. That's what Buddha said. So that is the best. So then you got married, and then you have another problem, because now the husband and wife are not happy because they don't have a baby. So then they go for an injection and then have a baby. And when the baby comes in, then you can see you can't even sleep. That you have another trouble, want some other person to take care. So as I said, 18-year-old baby, so you can't sleep. When the 40-year-old baby, now that one has got another baby as well, so you've been looking after. It's completely a dream. And then you just die, aging and so on. So this one is really a good example. And here you can actually meditate in a very clever way. Remember, we look at the sensual desire over here, mark the sensual desire. So you extend that line, it is going to aging. So what your sensual desire has been for aging. That means you like aging. So if you like aging, then you must like sickness and death. You see, the sensual desire is for then aging, sickness and death. What a stupid thing, isn't it? And then what was here? The delight, the Nandi. So what is delight means? Remember that example, you put a one bite and then you got the pleasure and then the consciousness is aware of that one, it died. So you put another bite and then you take long term, the birth, aging, sickness and death. So when it died, you want to recreate it, regenerate it. So that is the delight is for you to be born again after death. And then over here, and what is there over here is stinginess for gain. So those are the three things around it. So this is a really good example Buddha gave. That Buddha said that you sleep and you wake up and there's nothing. The sleep means your death. The wake up, you are born. When you are born, there's nothing. And one friend of mine was telling me, friend, this birth is really bad. I got a job is not good. I got a wife, she is not good. I got a house, the house is not good. I got a son, he is not good as well. Let us hope for the next birth. That's what he told. Next birth comes that everything will settle. When you wake up, you don't get, even the next birth, that you died and then you were born. So next birth you think all around you. They are around you, right? If your one is crappy, then look at the other ones and ask, then how are you actually having a good time, good thing? So all of them will tell you, if it is good, then you are not here, isn't it? If it is happy. So everyone will tell you the story apart from you. So when you wake up, there is nothing. It's just a dream. That's all. So when you are contemplating over here, you can be smart. You can see this. Your sensual desire has been for this aging, sickness. Aging, that means you like aging, sickness and death. And then you like to be born again as well because of this thing. The whatever thing you liked before is the one actually making you go into the next one as well. So there's this, and you were thinking it's a gain. The gain, that rotten mango. You save the $10 and got the rotten mango, that is your gain. And because of that, because of the rotten mango, you are happy to go in this samsara suffering like that one, and it's simply a dream. So you can meditate very heavily on that one. This is actually the fifth round we are talking about. Fourth round, the pleasure enter, misapprehension. And now, because of that pleasure, you are actually thinking that the rotten mango is a gain over here. And then what you actually like is, this aging and so on. So this is the ending of suffering, the third noble truth. And this is a very heavy meditation over here, if you look at these three and meditate. So consider this one as the future, because you are dreaming for the future. 1, 2 and 3, past. The fourth one, present. The coveting and greed, and as well as insult with anger and associate with anger, they are all future actions. So you give up desire for those ones. And in the number 6, householder, a man who had borrowed some earrings and fashionable ornaments, would deck himself in them and would go to the bazaar. People seeing him would say, looks like a rich man. When the owners see him, they would take their belongings. Householder, wouldn't that man be better in his own appearance? He would be better, Venerable Sir. In the same manner, The noble disciple reflects. The Blessed One has said that sensual desires are comparable to borrowed things that brings much unpleasantness, trouble and danger. They should be seen with equanimity and right wisdom as it really is, and the various interests should be turned out, and the single interest should be developed and then further developed so that you go on to Nibbana only. So here Buddha gave this example for the insult with anger. You see someone, sometimes you are also saying, I can't go to the street like a beggar. I should have something, the ornaments over here, right? So we are actually putting this one in the correct place, isn't it? Because then when the other people are saying, looks like a rich woman, looks like a rich person, so you are here into the same spot. So you either borrow a car or put a earring or something, then you go. So that the owner, since you borrowed it, the owner is there in that particular place, and they say, give it to me and take it back. So then this person is he's upset because his belonging, this one was taken in front of the crowd. So that is this insult with anger. I can give you really good 2 examples to support this one, to understand this one. In Sri Lanka, how is this the grandma going to the wedding? She would buy a really good sari, very expensive one, beautiful one, and they wrap the whole body from that sari. And whatever in the hand, which is uncovered by the sari, she will fill that one with these bangles, the gold ones, the big ones, and so on. And the neck, that place, she would use a necklace that, that is big one as well. And now just focus how young one going to the wedding. She would be showing as much of the skin and, putting a very tiny, thin chain over there. So now the grandma is in the wedding place. Then people are coming, and then they smile and say, grandma is a nice sari. That's what they say. They don't say grandma is nice, the sari is nice. So they touch it and sort of say it, and then grandma is very happy and she's saying, yeah, I got my son brought me this one. Where's your son? Son is in America. So now they talk about the son. And then they come to this place and the necklace, and then they touch in the necklace and say, my daughter brought me. Where's the daughter? Maybe Australia or UK. Then they are talking about the daughter now. So grandma is now really happy because people are coming. She got a really good thing. People are chatting and so on. If the grandma was not wearing very well, then people are not looking and go the other way around, like looking at the ant and going away, isn't it? Now it is not so. So after a little while, these weddings and sort of places, the AI is not that good. I saw this one in Sri Lanka, in Colombo, a reputed, very good hotel. But somehow this lady was about to collapse. And so she's going to faint. Then the others are saying, just remove those, the tight ones wrap around your body so that you get a bit relaxed and, yeah. So, but this grandma is saying, no, I'm good. But she's going to faint. And then the other people had to remove it. Then when they remove it, what they see, the body, wrinkled skin. That is what she was trying to cover it. This grandma is not my grandma. I'll tell you my grandfather. The grandfather, everybody is actually getting dressed to go to go to a wedding. My grandfather was with his stick, and then he's not getting dressed. And I was asking, aren't you going to the wedding? He looked at me for a little while and said, son, this body, people are going to the wedding to have the happiness. No one get happiness from seeing this body. This is now completely, wrinkled body. People don't get the happiness. So he is not going to weddings because he can't produce any happiness for anybody going like that one. But the grandma is always thinking, my daughter-in-law, whoever, whatever, I have to go for that wedding. So that is what it is. So what she was actually trying to do, because she got the conceit, that she is uplifting the mind with the conceit. She was happy with the form and delight about the form and uplifted the mind from conceit. And not only the grandma did this one. I can tell you a story that when I was in UK that I watched this one. That there was in that particular drama that this particular boy, maybe 10 or 12 years old, after school he is very unhappy. And then his father was asking, why are you unhappy? And then this boy said, girls are not looking at me. So then father gave him a good advice. The advice is to put this, the collar upward and go to school. So the boy put this collar upward and then going to school. And that day girls are looking at him and say, because they look at it because unusual thing, and then say, hi Scott, because he, that this is, you can't look the other way around after seeing. And so this boy was very happy. So what he was actually trying to do. So this one has got a really big lesson inside it. Remember yesterday we discussed that that the person who is coming to this world, they are coming after that pleasure of that woman, touching that body. And that boy got it for about 2 or 3 years, and then 8 or 10 years time, that mother is not touching that much. Now this person is now thinking, because the consciousness is aware of what he came for. So now he sees that it is not there for me anymore. Now if the girls are not even looking at me, how can I get it? So he is actually demanding that one. It is coming for this path over here. This birth feeling path, there is this thoughts about it. What a feeling I used to have that I do not have, which I miss now. So to arrive at that one, then because you actually think the form is a good one, then you are afflicting your mind with the conceit. That is what trying to do. So even the small boy and the grandma did. So you are in between, you can see that you also do the same thing in one way or the other. So that is how we look at the insult with anger. So what you need to do for the meditation, what Buddha said that you borrowed ornament, isn't it? Obenska. So you put that one over here and then spin with this physical nutriment with the barb of lust. And then where would you be born? Remember, we discussed this one on the first day, this meditation. That's the meditation you need to do. You put the ornament over here, ornament or jewelry or whatever, sari or whatever. And then you look at the cause and condition, the perception of beauty, pleasure, and the perception of self. And then you go there, have a plan, self-theory clinging, and you do a line, and then you come over here. Now at that particular point, you do not have the view because you lost the right view, because you take the perception of self being the wrong view, and then you don't have the virtue. So you die, you go to hell or animal realm, and then you are thinking, is it befitting for me to go to the hell or animal realm because of this ornament type thing? Wouldn't it be better for me to give up those things? So that is the meditation you should be focusing on. At the short meditation we did, that's the one you should be using at that time. So that is the insult with anger. And so this is actually the 6th round we are actually talking about. It is worth mentioning, starting from the 5th round, that how do you get the conceit? You say, how do you get the conceit? You're getting the conceit because we are spinning. In the first round, you are spinning because that first round is due to ignorance. And like that, dog just going there and taking that bone, fleshless bone, and it's something to do with ignorance. And so in that round, we actually give a value to the form, and then we get the conceit out of it. And in the second round, we again give a value to the form because of the conceit, mana. So we are actually discussing how the conceit is formed, but the former conceit is playing the part here. For example, I can say I have been eating one curry when I was sort of small, and today when someone is actually making that curry, I'm saying I'm going back to my former one. I'm saying nobody has ever made me such a curry, because my taste buds were good by that time. So my memories and intentions, they are coming up and then killing the what I'm eating over here. So the conceit is there. Because of the conceit I am bringing. If I know my taste buds are gone, then there won't be any conceit, so it won't be bringing in. The conceit is bringing in. So you give a value and become conceited again. And then the third round, you are giving a value to the feeling, and you get the conceit out of it. That round is due to ignorance. And again you are spinning. In the fourth round, you are giving value to the feeling. The round belonged to the conceit itself. And in the fifth round, you have the volition, the mental volition come into play, and the mental volition because of the form. So you are giving a value to the form and have the volition because of that. In the sixth round, you get this, you are giving a value to the feeling and then form the volition because of that one. And then you get the conceit out of it. And in the seventh round, you are giving a value to the method that you can acquire these things, the rotten mango and so on, learning chemistry, physics and so on. So that's how we get this conceit. So in the fifth round, we got the mango as a game in the fifth round. And the sixth round, after eating the mango, the feeling, so you give the value to that one. And that's why that little boy was demanding, let me have that one. Let the girls look at me or something so that I can have this thing. So now we are going to talk about the seventh round. So the sixth round is the one insult with anger. And it says the householder close to a village or hamlet, there is a stretch of dense forest, and in it there is a tree full of fruits. A man in search of fruits, coming to this tree and not seeing any fallen on the ground, would climb it and eat as much as he liked. He would fill his sling with some of the fruits. Another man with a sharp dagger, going in search of fruits, would come to this same tree and not seeing any fruits fallen and not able to climb the tree, would cut down the tree. Householder, if the man who had climbed the tree had not come down quickly, wouldn't he die or come to deathly unpleasantness, breaking one or the other of his limbs? Yes, Venerable Sir, he would. In the same manner, the noble disciple reflects. The Blessed One has said that sensual desires are comparable to a tree full of fruits. It brings much unpleasantness, trouble and danger. This should be seen with equanimity and right wisdom as it really is, and the various interests should be turned out, and you should go for that Nibbana thing. So here Buddha gave this example for the associate with anger. So you see someone want to get this fruit, and then he see there's a fruit tree but nothing fallen. This person knows how to climb the tree and eat it and get it to his sling, whatever thing it is. So there are two people in this discussion. Who are they, these two people? The first person, for you to understand, you put your right hand for the physical need to know, and then the second left hand to the birth, and the right leg to the stealing, and the left leg to the killing. Where's your stomach? That's your stomach, isn't it? Bodhidaya of misapprehension. So your filling it up with fruits, collecting it as well. And then the second man comes, and while you are there, he want to cut down the tree so that he can get, because he does not know how to climb it. So that is the second man. Who is the second man? Second man is your sickness. How do you die one day? Because of your sickness. Even if you are not sick, somebody will stab you again. One of the elements will get damaged. So from that sickness you die. So in other words, what Buddha is trying to say over here. You see, previously you were trying to live with killing, stealing, lying, and all those things. Now you've given up all those things, insult with anger, everything, dreaming and everything given up. But now you are living innocently with a fruit. But you can't live even from the fruit, because the sickness will come and kill you. But this person want to have the pleasantness, happiness. You see, if you want to live, but if you can't live, what you get? That is the associate with anger. If I can't live even from a fruit without harming anyone, and if I want to live, if I can't live, then what you get is associate with anger. So it is worth mentioning the hate. There is hate and there is non-hate. So how do you define non-hate? So normally people would say, if I don't have the hate, it's non-hate. But the other person is saying, so don't describe me from the hate. Tell me exactly what it means by non-hate. So this answer to this question is also even in Petakopadesa. In Pali it says, Ajjatrato samahite vikkip patisaranam ayam adosu. That means that someone is thinking that there is this inner tranquility. And then what this non-hate means, that you cannot have it. That you have some sort of a delusion that it will last. But you cannot last. You can't live from fruit innocently. You can't even live going into the space is infinite. Neither perception, non-perception. Everyone dies. So if you want to live, but if you can't live, then you get the hate. So that is that one in a nutshell. So how do you do the meditation here? You put a fruit over here as the physical neutron. And then you spin with the barb of lust. And let us say, in this case, your birth in the human world. You didn't go to hell. Let us say you were in the human world. Then you got the birth. From that one you get the aging and the sickness and death. Now you understand, you had a form before, birth before, and it died, no longer. And that's how you were born here. And this one is now subject to aging, already aged. And what are you expecting in the future? The sickness and death. That is what is coming for you. And if I take this particular form again in the future, what will happen? The same thing, isn't it? I will be subject to aging, sickness and death. So when you understand that way, then you actually give up that this associate with anger, because you can't live by eating a fruit, or you can't live by going to other world. So you see, this is the 7th round and the 7th step. That's what we have come. Remember, we were talking about the painfulness in pain, the viparinama dukkhata. It is entering from the feel inside to over here. And then we say sanskara dukkhata. That is the painfulness in constructions. They are coming this way. And what you get is painfulness as pain. You begin with pain, you are ending up with pain. And so you have this associated with anger. Now look where we started. We started with killing. Because of the killing, then you have the hate. Hate and killing are linked together. And I spin 7 rounds, then I am here with the associate with the anger. So that means I am going to kill again. So my life, within the 7 rounds, Buddha is showing you, your life is between this 1 and 7. In between, you steal, You lie. You separate people, slander and so on. You dream. And then you are subject to insult with anger. And you are associated with anger. Even you can't live innocently with the food. That's what it is. Even giving up killing, you can't even live over here. So, since anger, I am going back to the same thing. So, this is my life. If you understand this one up to that level, you are in the seventh jhana or beyond that one at that particular time. Your mind becomes so pure when you do this way. So then, householder, the noble disciple, come to this purity of mind through equanimity, recollects the manifold previous births, such as one birth, two births, with all modes and all details, would recollect the various previous births. So this, how to recollect? Who can recollect this? Buddha said that you can recollect. That's what this text is saying. So what you need to do, normally you have some sort of curiosity. Who am I in the past? That's the question, isn't it? Ask that question from this birth. Who are you? Now you utter some sort of a speech and say some sort of a word and your name. That's what you are saying, isn't it? It doesn't have any meaning. And your mother could have put any name to you. So then don't ask that question, because in this life also there is no meaning. So why would you ask that one in the past life? But if someone come and asks you, what is the job you are doing? You can describe it very well. So what you can recall is the volitional formations, your actions. So in the past, what you have been doing, you recall what was my job in the past birth. So the best place to recall past birth is the seventh jhana. When you come to this seventh one over here, the associate with the anger, then you have actually reached that stage if you are successful. So that's the best place. So I also went to the seventh jhana, not from this diagram, and then I recall to my mind what was my job in the past birth. Then I saw sort of a saw and a wood piece and a hand, going above that one. So who is that person? A carpenter, isn't it? So then next moment I was recollecting what was the meditation I was doing in the past birth. And then I saw these stones underneath these grasses, like I see from my own eye. Better than that one, I saw it. So at that moment I knew I have pursued light. Perception of light has been the meditation that I have been doing. As soon as I recall that one, the whole area became sort of, there was light in that area. And so I could see my carpenter's bench and all those things. I had the road going to the house. And then I could see the whole picture. There was some sort of a little waterfall behind me and so on. And then every Saturday, Sunday, because the Monday to Friday I go to work those days. Saturday, Sunday I look at in detail one of my past births. And I have seen about 15 at that time. And then I got fed up, because it's like watching a movie, about the past birth. You see, there is nothing in a movie, isn't it? Likewise, there is nothing in your past birth either. The same thing that you have over here, is there anything when you recall, starting from the, small age, you are taking these books, carrying the books, going to school, teachers punishing you, doing this one and so on. There is nothing. Likewise, there is nothing. So Sampati Mahabrahma was there, and then I was asking him, what should I look in this past birth? I was actually watching these things like watching a movie. He said, look, contemplate about birth, aging, sickness and death in those past births. So I started 15 births backward. This is how I was born. This is how I die. This is how I subject to aging and death. You'd go through 15, then you don't want to know. You don't want to go any further, because death is really unpleasant. You see, you haven't died in this birth, but if you can recall past births, how you die, I see various ways that I die. I'm sinking drowning inside the water. One time, the elephants, doing some work and their logs are coming and killing me. And another time, a snake bite me, and then I can see this. The whole place is like a misty sort of thing, and then I die at that time. So you see, when you see those things, you what the idea you get is, I don't want to be born again. And you can see, when I see my hand over here, the veins in my hand, in the last birth when I was working as a carpenter, the sadness, the sorrow that I had, when I look at it, I don't have it now. I wouldn't get it, even because there are two reasons. When I look at my hand, it is not that old to see in that way. Even if I say, I would not go into that sorrowful perception. Because why? Because I am cheating. We are always cheating. The grandma, in going in front of a mirror or something, then looking at this one, watch what she is doing next. She is going to the kitchen, make a cup of tea for herself, or have some sort of a toffee put in her mouth. In other words, she is making that one go away, forgetting. So in the seventh jhana, you are not going to do that one. You are completely aware of completely how you feel sorrow when you see the aging. So it is a really big thing. Inside, that people are not expressing, but inside it is there in the consciousness. So you can actually take it up and see how bad it is. So there is a big value in, I'm not asking you to recall your past births. What is important is this Dhamma, meditating on this one and understanding it. That is the most valuable thing. But when you do this, your conceit will be gone. When the conceit is gone, you get the concentration very quickly. That was the best thing happened to me by doing this one. I knew, you normally think that I don't have this conceit, because this is sort of an equal society. You sort of think that, we all are equal. That's what it is, right? But let us say you go in a very rural area in Sri Lanka. No cars. You are going from a car and get down, and then those little boys and girls are running after you. Then you look, oh, I have a really good, then you get the conceit coming up with that one. So what it is hidden inside. Now this one actually make it come to the surface. Then you can see that I am arrogant to that extent. I can remember by the time of the meditation, I didn't have any problem, because before the meditation, I was thinking, I am a scientist now, so therefore, I must have been a scientist before. The doctor is always thinking she is a doctor. The engineer is thinking, I am an engineer all the births. But when you recall, you know who you are. That the reality is seen, and then the conceit is gone. I can remember the meditation time, my concentration is so strong, it doesn't matter whether I am an ant or whether I am a carpenter. But after that one, the concentration is gone and I'm eating, and after eating I remember I am a carpenter. That thought was coming to me. I am not a scientist, I am a carpenter. That it is coming up over there. So the arrogance is gone. When the conceit is gone, next day onwards when you are meditating, very easy. The highest concentration person, the neither perception nor non-perception person, he has the least conceit. And he is on the top of the ladder and you are in the bottom. The human beings are on the bottom fallen, and this person has got the highest conceit. The other ones are in between. And those little creatures like birds, the dogs, they have more conceit than you. I have looked at a mind of a bird with Sampati Mahabrahma, and that bird is actually very tiny, but it is thinking that I am big, like this room. I am a really big. When it is getting that one, when it is going and chasing another bird, by that time it thinks I am really big. I am a really big one. I am actually going after a very small one. Those tiny little dogs, the 6 inches tall, they are barking at you and jumping, right? By the time they are thinking they are actually twice the height of you. I am a really big one, I am barking at this small one. And when you kick, then that little dog knows that I am not the big one. But that's how the conceit is. That's how it works. Inside, it is there. So the conceit will be removed to a very great extent when you actually see your past births. And then Buddha said, howsoever the noble disciple come to this purity of mind through equanimity with heavenly, I purified above human, would see beings disappearing and appearing and unexalted, exalted states, beautiful, ugly, and good and bad states, would see beings according to their actions. So this is actually, we are talking about divine eye. And again it says that you can have it, the divine eye, to see that people passing away and that one. Not only Buddha says that you can do it. How do you do that one? For this one, that you have to spend quite a lot of time. You need to perceive light. You know that over here it is dark. The outside, on a sunny day, you can see there is sunlight. So when you go, normally you see the objects because sun rays are there, the land and so on. It is not, I am talking about the sunny nature, the light outside. So you come back, close your eyes and you see, you recall that there was this light outside like this one. So first you see that picture. Gradually the picture will fade away and there was then sort of, something background over there. And then you need to focus on this one, this light. So to focus on this light, there must be some sort of method. So what is the method? This light get developed, the perception of light get developed with the Eightfold Path meditation. That's the best meditation. More and more you understand the dependent origination, the light become more and more brighter and you see more and more pure way. So, but you need to be with the light, the perception of light. This is a sort of a concentration. There is a concentration called concentration by perceiving light. So this is what we are talking about. So to do that one, so you need to be with that object. So you are saying, I'm stretching that object to the north, east, west and so on. And after some time, you are actually saying, let it be to the size of the moon and let it be bright like moon and so on. So when you do this meditation for a long time, then one day you see certain objects far away. While you are meditating on something else, you see far away objects. First I saw a swing. There was a garden somewhere, children playing garden. I saw this one. I was thinking, why am I seeing this one? And then I went for a walk. I saw that particular thing. And then I saw this far away. There is a bridge and nearby the bridge, there is this grasses. Underneath the grasses, there are some stones. I could see. And so now since there is Google technology, now you can see exactly in this particular point, this is the bridge and this is this little stones over there. So then I understood that I can see far away. And then there is this one stupa in Chaitya, in divine world, one of the divine worlds, Tautinsa. I thought I would go and I would want to see that one. So I could see it. And then the same way I could see the Akanita Brahma realm. And then I noticed it is not only that I see, but my mind-made body is going with it as well. You see, the old man, when he is traveling, he is very afraid of putting his leg in front because he does not know whether there is a hole in front of him or not. But if he can see, he is happy to step on. Like that one, you see from the light and then you go. Mind-made body is traveling with you. So now how can you know about this someone, how this person is going to be born? For that one, you need to have this attainment of the sixth jhana concentration, samapatti. That means this you should be able to quickly attain straight away the sixth jhana level. The consciousness is infinite. In that plane, there is light. So if I want to know this one, let's say this person, where this person is going to be born, then I straight away attain to the sixth jhana. level of attainment, and then I can know from that level of concentration that this person is going to this realm, this second person is going to this one, this third person is going to this one, but that can be changed. That also can be known from that purified consciousness. So that's the way to do that one. And then Buddha said, howsoever the noble disciple come to this purity through equanimity, has released his mind, is released to wisdom, and would abide in that release here and now. So here we are talking about prajna vimukti, that's the release to wisdom, and then the release is mind, that means the cheto vimukti. So those things we look at tomorrow in the there's this meditation called Chula Sunyat, and in that one, emptiness discourse, we will be looking at. So when you go to those liberations, you can stop your mind. As I mentioned on the first day, the bicycle wheel about to be stopped, going to the right, coming to the left, stop in the middle. Likewise, you can stop your mind from running. And when it is stopped at that particular point, as I said before, there is no assay. When you see a coconut tree, you say this tree, you can eat the coconut, you can have these rugs, you can make rugs and so on. So many stories going inside your mind, but there's no story at this particular time. You completely stop. So that is the total stopping of this vehicle. The wheel stop, you stop killing, stealing and so on, and now the engine is completely come to stopping. Householder, this is the ending of all actions and business in the dispensation of the noble ones. Householder, do you see this ending of all actions and business in the dispensation of the noble ones? Evident in you. What am I, Venerable Sir? I am far away from ending of all actions and business of the dispensation of the noble ones. Venerable Sir, earlier we thought the ascetics of other sects were thoroughbreds and fed them with thinking they were thoroughbreds, and place faith in them. The bhikkhus we thought were not thoroughbreds, fed them thinking they were not thoroughbreds. So this Potaliya was sort of happy with this about the Buddha's discourse, and now he is actually going in various ways. The Blessed One has explained the teaching. Now I take refuge in the Blessed One, in the teaching, in the community of bhikkhus. May I be remembered as a lay disciple who has taken refuge from today till life last. So that is the discourse. So how do we meditate? So as we discussed along the way, you go through these examples. So first you go through this killing. You are the butcher. So at this particular point, you put the bone, fleshless bone here. You spin with barb of lust over here and think you will be born in hell, animal realm. And then you are asking, is it befitting for me to go to hell because of this fleshless bone? Would it be better for me to give up just killing? So you give up your desire and attachment for this killing. So again, now you can see that this, when you are getting rid of this killing part, you are not breathing to think that you kill. You are not breathing to lift up a knife. You are not breathing to stab someone. So therefore, since you are not killing, so that is the cessation of this breathing part. So therefore you can go to that jhana concentration, that fourth jhana to the sixth jhana, seventh jhana and so on. Then you are going to the cessation of that one. So that is the first example, killing. Consider that one as one of your fast actions and give up your desire and attachment for that one. And the second one, the stealing. And think that you are the person stealing. You were going to job before. At this particular moment, no job. So put a flesh over here as the physical nutriment. Spin with it the barb of lust. And then you think you will be born in hell, animal realm. And then you are asking, would it be befitting for me to go to hell because of a piece of meat? Wouldn't it be better for me to give up my attachment for this stealing? So that is the second meditation. So since you are not going to breathe in, that I have to go to work tomorrow. So you get the cessation of inhaling and exhaling. The fourth jhana, from that one, you are going to Nibbana. And the third one, remember that grass torch example. And Buddha saying about the Four Noble Truths, you are against that one, you are actually carrying a torch. The baby is mine, husband is mine, job is mine, and so on, mine and mine. The rotten mango is mine, the pleasure come out of it is mine, and so on. So for over here you put a grass torch as the physical nutriment, you spin with the barb of lust, and then you think you are going to hell, animal realm. So is it befitting for me to go to hell because of this grass torch? Would it be better for me to give up this one? So for this, you have a really good meditation. The one that we did yesterday afternoon. Remember this meditation. You want to get rid of the line part. So how did we arrive at that one yesterday? You look at the excrement outside, it is not mine. That is the element of extension. The excrement inside is the element of extension. So you cleanse your mind from the element of extension. Whatever in the world that is hard or soft, you got rid of it. And similarly, element of cohesion. Whatever the liquid thing, the internal one, the urine we were taking as example, internal one as well as the external one. So when you get rid of using those four elements, then you are here. Now you are not saying the leg is mine, the baby is mine, the cow is mine, and so on. So now you are not lying. So now you are in the fifth jhana or above. Now you focus on the determination for truth. And those things are not lasting. I can go to the sixth jhana or seventh jhana, but you can see that you will fall from that one, then you will be going to hell or animal realm or human world, whatever. So now you are going to with the exhaustion of lust, hate and delusion, he attains complete cessation, complete extinction. So that is the best meditation to apply at that particular time. And then that is first, second and third, you consider them as past actions. In the past you were regarding your baby as mine, the husband as mine, not now. And this one is the present action, the slender. So remember that charcoal pit example, that burning with charcoal pit, that you are actually separating your friend's friend. So using that example, you can see what you are begging. You are begging the feeling, you are begging the pleasure you used to have by eating before, the mango, rotten mango. So here the pleasure is entering the misapprehension. And then the volitional formations entering the misapprehension, because the stealing is hard to blame over here, because it's actually give you the permanency. For me to have a rotten mango, then I got to have the job. So you are with that $10 in your hand, you are begging the feeling and you are actually sinking. So all the time this is what is happening to us. We were never satisfied with what we got. We are always thinking there must be something better, some better food, better bed, better clothes and so on, isn't it? So never to be find anything. So that is the misapprehension. The pleasure has entered the misapprehension at that particular time. So that is the present moment. And then the future one, you can see the coveting and greed. Remember about the dream? That person is dreaming about, that you were dreaming. You thought this life is really good, doing the job and that one. So at that particular time, you meditate using these three. The three around it. This is sensual desire. What your sensual desire has been. You extend it, you can see aging. So what you like is aging. Stupidly you like aging, then you like sickness and death. And then over here you have the delight. The delight is that you won't be born. You want to be born after death. So this is birth, aging, sickness, death, and then you want to be born as well. For what? Because of this little thing over here. What is the little thing? Stinginess regarding the gain. You took that rotten mango. This is the 5th round. In the 5th round, you are saying the mango is a gain. This crappy food is a gain for me. So because of that one, I do have this problem. So you sleep, that means you die. You wake up, means you are born. But you wake up, there's nothing. After death also the same thing. Around you are the people who has done it, isn't it? Apart from you, around you is that. So you can ask the other people, is your life happy life? Is a better dream than yours? Their dreams are the same. There's nothing. And the 6th one, insult with anger. Remember the grandmother's example and the boy's example as well. They both are uplifting their mind because they think that the form is a good one. Then they got this conceit about it. And so it's like something borrowed from someone, because you borrowed something from the sperms from your father, mother, that inside the mother's womb. And then now you can see how it is, wrinkled and all those things, isn't it? And you are covering it up with the gold and ornaments and all those things. But the reality is that it is that subject to aging. So you can, for that one, you remember the meditation, you can put an ornament over here or a Benz car or something. And then you consider the beauty and then the pleasure, and then you get the self, and then you have a plan to have a better rotten mango and go through the self-thinking, and you come to line. And if you die while you have the adherences, because you don't have the view, you have the wrong view, because when you say self, you lose the view, the right view, you have the wrong view, and then you don't have the virtue, and if I die, go to hell. So, hello animal realm. So then you can meditate in that way. And then the associate with anger, the last one. So in that case, you put the fruit over here, and then you spin, and then you see, let us say you didn't go to hell. You can go to hell because you are attached to that flavor and so on. Let us say, fortunately, you are born in the human world. So now you have the birth, and you already subject to aging. So what is coming in the future? The man who is killing you is sickness. So you get the sickness and death. Now you think about this fruit. Having given up killing, stealing and lying and so on, I now think, let me sort of live from fruit. I can't live even from fruit. Remember, we were talking about this is the 7th round. And this is really interesting, the 7th round. You see, here we were talking about the 5th round, the stinginess regarding the gain is here. And over here, what we have, that we have given a value to the feeling in the 6th round. That's what it is, that the grandma and all the others, then the girls should look at me and so on. And in the 7th round, a method for acquiring this particular thing. What is the method? The Dhammamachari, that is the stinginess regarding the doctrine, is over here. What is the method? The method that we used, rather than touching our mouth from here, we started touching from the other way around the neck. So we thought that we learn chemistry, physics, mathematics, and then we go to work. So our salaries are going to the bank, and then we go to the bank and take the money and go to the mango dealer and take it. The Buddha gave us simplest occupation, isn't it? Simplest method. If you want mango, you learn how to climb a tree. So that is the method. Rather than going around, we can do that. That's what we do today. We have a piece of plastic, salary is going there, and we use that one. So that you can't live that way either, because that you are trying to live from fruit. But the last one you can see, It is fallen. That's how you got this body. Now you are already subject to aging. What you expect? Sickness and death. It is coming. It is in the pipeline. And if I make another one in the future, it will be the same. So in other words, I can't live from this one. So now the definition of non-hate comes to play. That means I can't live either way. By going to a higher concentration, I think it's a confusion that I have. I can live from the higher concentration. I can't live from the fruit. I can't live from higher concentration as well. So if I want to live, and if I can't live, then what I get is associated with anger. So now I started with killing, and now I ended up with anger. So if I have anger, then I go and kill again. So this is my life. Between first round to seventh round, its spinning is very quick, like that one. The seventh rounds are gone, and that is your life. So this understanding, this one is the most valuable thing. And if you are there, you have the noble understanding as well as the very high concentration. At that time, if you have a couple of minutes left, then you can think, what was I doing in my past birth? So mainly it is that you actually see your past birth, but most of the time you can't interpret. You got to be patient as well. It just doesn't appear a picture. Sometimes the picture appears, sometimes it doesn't. So you have to be patient over there.